having a successful business from the onset is possible. We've got somebody here that's going to show you how they did it. Stay tuned. Welcome everyone to Your Little Castle Show. I don't know how many times I want to say this, but I enjoy working with small business owners. I get to learn from business. Small businesses are often very much on the cutting edge because they are more nimble. The big guys, love them. We used to work for Anheuser-Busch, a wonderful company. But man, it took a long time to make decisions and to get things done. Small businesses, big advantage. Would you say that's true?
Yeah.
We've seen that here. I want to show you some of the work they've done. I noticed this. I'm like, holy cow, how did you do that so fast? Way to go. But welcome to the studio here. We've got Mike and Mary. Put the title. We'll rotate between titles. But there's Mike Hancock, Mary Hancock, and they're in studio here with us to share a little bit of their insight and have a successful plumbing company. Why'd you pick plumbing? We'll talk about that in a minute. First, a shout out to our sponsors, Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things in your little castle. Now, this little castle, it is possible that Mike might have worked on this for you, or now Ramblewood has been around now for a long time, or a couple of years, a lot of clients already. Right. Maybe they've worked on and built a nice fixture plumbing or installed new plumbing in your little castle that Carroll House may have had furniture in there too. But with that, we're going to put up on our TV walls and all of our fun things. We've got websites. There it is. STL favorites, editor, A-list for awards. That's cool. We'll keep that on the wall for everybody to see. And a nice Facebook page and a ton of great reviews. We're going to get into that as well. But you've got an interesting story, Mike, how you got started. Tell me about this. And I understand there was a toilet that was broken. And you said, I can fix that, and you were 12 years old? Is that where this all started?
Yeah, I was about 12 years old. My childhood home that I grew up in on Ramblewood Court, and we had a toilet leaking, and parents said, hey, I'll take care of it, and they were like, yeah, go ahead and give it a shot. My good friend's father was a plumber at the time, so he kind of gave me the material and said, this is kind of how you do it, and have at it. So that was my first time giving plumbing a try, and kind of stuck with it since.
Mary, is he good at what he does? This was worked out?
I mean, we don't have any leaking toilets at home, so I would say it's working out great.
Well, what's it like starting a company from scratch, and why did you guys decide after 21 years of total experience?
Correct.
So this is back when you had 19 years, is that right?
Correct.
And you said, hey man, 19 years of doing this, working for other companies, enjoyed doing that, did some union work, when union work's great, and then you said, hey man, I can do this myself.
Yeah. So, I wanted to just kind of be more independent. I have kind of my way that I want to, treat the customers and take care of the employees. And I felt, it was just now a good time. I got to see a little bit of the business side of plumbing, running a plumbing company. Spent plenty of time in the field, worked with from residential homes to, big commercial projects. So seen quite a bit over the years, and just figured that it was time to go out and do it on my own, and, hire good employees and be able to take care of them. And that's what I really enjoy, taking care of the customers and, their homes, and also, the employees, and being able to take care of their families. So.
Well, that's what we like to hear, the success stories. Mary, you jumped in on this. How long have you been, since the start of the new company, or how long have you been in plumbing? Give me your background.
Yes, I am not a plumber by any means. Okay. But if you call or email, I'll answer. It was February. No, it was way before that. Mm-hmm. I had my own business, and he said, I think I want to start my own plumbing company. And I had built a business, and I said, are you sure? I'm not sure you want to do that. Yeah, so we went through all the details and started building the brand, started doing all the back end, started filing LLCs, all the fun business side of things, and started building the website and branding and all of that. And then when he was ready to go, he did it. He jumped in, and then I realized my business is going to have to go, and jumped on board. So yeah, lucky for him, he found a good business partner.
Yeah. I was going to say, absolutely. That's the key. If you can find somebody to really help me. I've got somebody that does a great job. You've talked to Dawn. and we kind of have built a little team here. Is having? I mean, would you have done this if Mary wasn't going to jump in with you? Would you have gone off on your own, or you just said, "I'm doing it, but I could really use your help"? How did that?
Yeah, I definitely think I would have done it. Would it have been as fast? Probably not. And would we be where we are today? No, absolutely not. So she's been a huge part of that. So
Mary, lots of credit he's giving you there. What do you think?
You know, I couldn't do it without a really good craftsman that knows what he's doing, and all the guys, the whole team is, I mean, above and beyond. You, like we were talking about before, you could read any of the reviews, and they all say the same thing, and that's exactly how they all are, just as natural people, high quality humans, and high quality craftsmen, and really care and communicate, and that's really hard to find in the trade. So that was, you know, my background is all this fine dining, high end, Four Seasons, and they are the Four Seasons of plumbing. So it was a pretty easy fit and easy for me to jump in and believe what everybody, you know, what we're here to do. And I mean, plumbing isn't just, you know, hanging pictures on a wall. It's infrastructure of people's homes, and you can, I mean, save people's homes. And, you know, I think people kind of forget about how big of a job this is. So
yeah, plumbing is of the trades one of the most critical, because like you got electrical and you got plumbing. I'll dabble with a little plumbing, but when it comes down to it, we had a pipe blow at our remote location. My dad grew up in Fayette, Missouri, and there's a property there, and we got a call, and my dad has gone up to heaven, and I'm sure with the cold weather, he would have drove down to Fayette and turned off the water. It was during Christmas break, and it was usually rented by college students at Central Methodist University there. And we didn't think about it, and next thing we get a call from our neighbor, says, "You got a pile of ice out in front of your house," and it's because the pipe on the second floor had frozen, and it came down, and it turned out okay because we had good insurance, so they covered everything. Right. But those are the kinds of plumbing issues where if you're not paying attention and you've got a little leak like that, that could turn into a big problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's an ancient trade that people don't think about either. I mean, Egyptians had plumbing. I mean, this goes back thousands of years, and to you know, see how far it's come nowadays, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we talk about how many businesses do evolve and technology is always changing, but why is it so critical that that you keep up with the times? So what are some of the big changes you've seen evolution-wise with regard to, and let's throw that one over to you, Mike, with regard to technology and the way you've had to upgrade what you do, but a lot of it stayed the same too.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff I guess we're seeing now is just, you know, the piping has changed over the years. So St. Louis being an older city, right? A lot of the city homes, they had cast iron drain pipes and galvanized water lines. We no longer use that stuff, you know. We use copper, or PEX piping is pretty big as well now. We've also seen, you know, fittings change on copper. You know, they used to do a lot of soldering, and you know, ProPress is now a big thing as well, you know, so we're not necessarily using torches all the time in people's houses. You know, so things change. We're also seeing more of the technology side come in as well. You know, you got shower valves and stuff now that you can control with a panel on your wall. You can walk in and hit a digital screen, and next thing you know, your shower head's turning on. So, you know, all kinds of things we're seeing. So it's hard to say where 10, 15 years where it's going to be, you know.
Yeah, that's right. You heard me give a voice command because then I have to get up and go press the buttons. Bixby, I won't say it because it'll do it. Studio, do something with the studio lights, and then it did that. Can you do that for your shower now? Turn my shower on to 25, 45, 80, 105 degrees, whatever.
I'm sure it's coming if it's not here yet. So not that I'm aware of, but I'm sure it's close.
Mary, given the background you've got, you've helped to evolve this. You've taken on the marketing side, web development, those reviews. I'm going to show you the reviews. Amazing what they've done with the reviews. How is the technology side? Is that your job, managing the business, I guess, on the other side?
Yeah, I definitely have gone, you know, jumped right into that. Like I said, I had my own business, so understood a lot how some of these things worked, but at the same time, just digging a little deeper and learning more about the back end and SEO and how different plumbing is from restaurants and what I did. So how important it is to have your website that's working and talking to everything, and the SEO, and realizing it's not just, oh, I have a website, it works, great. It's, no, you need to update your website with a 300-word page at least twice a month. And then it will keep going.
She knows what she's talking about.
Your Google business profile, posting every day. So yeah, it takes, I can see why there's teams that do all of this, but like you were saying, having a small company, we can be multifaceted in what we do and keep learning and growing and kind of take it on in-house right now. But yeah, I think it's important to understand how all of that works on the back end. It also helps when we know all of these other tradespeople to sit down and help them grow their companies and talk to them about how it all works. And yeah, the importance of reviews that customers understand. They're kind of annoying to do, but if you just hit a 5-star, it helps for sure.
I could go on about that one for a while
Yeah.
too. I mean, lots to learn there, and it's just people will judge you based on that. And for so long, we didn't pay attention to it. And one day we're like, maybe we should pay a little more attention to this, because if you're not somebody's. One question I had for you was as building a team. You've talked about you're not in the field as often anymore already, Mike, but you've developed a team. That's one of the hardest things to do these days, because finding good workers is tough. Getting the resources to make that all happen, but you've got a good team already that manages a lot of what's going on in the business. You kind of oversee it,
Right.
help
Yeah.
Mary.
Yeah, that's the toughest part probably for all plumbing companies, in the St. Louis area is all your plumbers they should be licensed. They got to be licensed through the St. Louis City and County. So that's a tough part. That is something that's kind of going away. Licensed plumbers are retiring, and there's not enough coming into the trade. So that's tough to try to find good quality help. But I've been fortunate enough. I've been around a little while to where I've got a few good solid guys, guys that I can rely on who, I don't have a problem sending into people's homes that I can trust. And that's huge for me, is knowing that I can trust someone and send it into a customer's home, and I know they're going to take care of them how I would. So,
has that been key to the success so far? You said you've grown pretty substantially. Building that team, did you help with that too, Mary?
I would say just overall having a culture of your business is so important. So understanding what that means, and Mike just is naturally that person that people want to follow and want to work with and enjoy working with and trust. And so he kind of attracts similar people that are like him. And so just trusting him with who he wanted to bring on and to start this. And I mean, that was why I got into it with him, because I knew he would bring the right people, and I know how hard that is, and keep that quality to 5 stars.
There you go. And that's build a team. That's why a lot of the show stems from my background with sports. That's why we wear the rings and in the hat. We'll put the hat on here. We're gonna put it on in a minute anyway. Put it on right now. But building a team, being part of a team, and learning how to, like you said, like what you said, the culture. What's the attitude that people have within your organization to make sure that you're doing work at high quality and getting the results, because people will light you up if you don't. You've got to go. It's easier to do it right the first time than it is to go and fix it later. Well, how does that lead to the passion you guys have for this? What is it that made this so successful? Did you have that passion going in, given your background?
Yeah, I think so. Big passion, for me is just quality of work. You can get plumbers to go in, and anybody can swap a toilet out, anybody can swap a faucet out, but it's the minor details, like when you are setting a toilet, the materials that you're using, we're just not cheaping out, throwing cheap stuff in there, that's going to fail. Or when you set a faucet, you're taking that extra step and a tape measure off the backsplash and making sure the handles are lined up perfectly, so just the small little things like that, that makes all the difference.
Yeah, these little attention to detail.
Attention to detail, that's it.
Here's a quote for you. Tell me if you believe this one. Excellence is achieved by doing a little more. Is that what you're saying? A little extra, a little extra attention to detail.
Yep.
And this is what's helped provide good quality and
that is it.
Great
Yeah.
reviews. Mary, is that what's going on
Yeah,
here?
pride in work. I mean, that's what it comes down to. If you ask any of our guys, by no means would they be over the top and passionate. They get in there and they know what to do, how to do it, how to talk to people, and they treat people respectfully. And we have friends and family. They go into their houses, and I have a friend. I generally don't even tell them that they're my friends, just so they, I know they're going to treat them just right. But I love hearing it on the back end of, I have a single female friend, and she said he couldn't have made me feel more comfortable, and just looked at me in my eye and talked to me like I was, didn't ask where my husband was, like, they're the right people. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's just taking a step further, just taking care of people's homes too. Treat it like it's your own. Putting floor protection down, wearing shoe covers. You bring a tool bag in, we're setting a drop cloth down, putting our tools on that. We're worried about your floor and your countertops and everything in the area. So we're not going to make a mess, and if we are, we're going to protect it. And we're going to clean up after ourselves.
Very key, and that reminds me of the question I asked you. Where'd you come up with the name Ramblewood? And you talked about that's the childhood. Tell everybody where.
Yeah. So that is the childhood home that I grew up in. That's where earlier, like we said, I did my first plumbing project. So just kind of looped it all back in. That's where I got started on Ramblewood, and figured that would be a good name. So
it took a couple glasses of whiskey in, and he pulled that one right out. I was like, oh. Yeah, I think that's right.
And it ties into that's where you treat everybody's home like your own, and you did your first job on Ramblewood. That's where this all started.
That is, yes, sir.
Very cool stuff. All right, we're going to show you some fun stuff we had in the community. My buddy Braxton. So my middle name's Braxton. My dad's first name's Braxton, and then we ran into Braxton, a Cardinal kid over here. He's a Cardinal fan, and what he was doing with at the Cardinal game. Stay tuned. Check this out. All right, everybody, we're outside of Patios. This is where all the best baseball fans go. Get a good picture right there of Patios there. I'm paying my camera guy here. Sonny, we agreed to pay you double what we paid you last time, right? All right, we all know how much that is. So a little bit of the excitement we had here the other day. Annually, we make a trophy, right? This trophy right here is this year's trophy. It does get a little weathered, let's just say, over time. And I happen to have decided, I had a guy come up to me and goes, hey, Cowboy, what's up? I told him I'd come back. I did come back. A lot of times when I get caught up, but that happened to initiate. He goes, what's up with the trophy? I said, well, we do kind of a dedication. It's in memory of my father who raised me on baseball, right, which is a great thing to be raised on. And I signed it right there. And then as I signed it, I put Braxton, and I dedicated it, Braxton Rethridge. That's my dad. 38 seconds later, I go walking down. I see a youngster who's got, this is the same hat you were wearing that game? And I go up to him, I'm like, hey, what's your name? We got to do a cheer. Go ahead and hold the trophy for me. And I always get somebody, Carl, what's up, brother? I always get everybody's first name. And I say, what's your first name? What's your first name?
Braxton.
His first name is Braxton, everybody. If you don't believe there's some higher power stuff going on this little planet, the odds of somebody also being the name Braxton 38 seconds after I put my dad's name, who happens to be Braxton, there's something going on. So that brings us all Cardinal fans together. Who is your favorite player, and why do you love the Cardinals?
My favorite one is probably Mason Wynn.
Mason Wynn. And it kind of sounds like Braxton, so we're going to go with that one too. All right, and you say your name is?
I'm Tyler.
Tyler, right, Tyler?
Yes, sir.
Who's your favorite player, and why do you love the Cardinals?
I'm kind of a Mason Wynn guy as well. Young guy, bad on injuries, and love the grit and adversity from the kids. So.
Well, back in the day, my favorite player was also a shortstop by the name of Ozzie Smith. All right, so if you guys don't mind, let's take off our glasses for a quick second here so we get to know the crowd a little better. You got it? I'm going to hold the trophy. This thing's heavy, isn't it? Looks heavier on TV. You got it? All right. That's how you do it right there. Hold the trophy. On the count of 3, let's go Cardinals. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3. Let's go Cardinals! Way to go, Braxton. Give me some knuckles. Woo! Tyler, you're awesome.
His name is Carter Rethridge, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethridge was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey, we're looking for the small business owners and leaders in our community to be on our show. This is why we're This is stacked. the Your
We're
Little
just like,
Castle
let me
show.
put
We
my ad
air
out there and target
3 times a
and,
week,
it's kind of-
every week on
We'll
ABC,
look through, like,
and we would like to put
Yeah.
somebody you know, or maybe it's you, who's a business owner, to be on our show. You'll sit right here in our
Okay, we're gonna
guest
put some
chair,
of the-
right here, sitting, talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your
Reviews up to
website and everything
128.
about you, and highlight you as a leader.
Scroll past that.
Fill
guy.
out the form you see here on our website.
Right.
It's bigleagues.com. And if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form. Takes just a
And
couple
we'll talk about- give me a
seconds.
cost
You can even
analysis, do
schedule
it
yourself
first,
right here.
watch if somebody
Schedule
choose you.
yourself to be on the show. And there's
Maybe
no
state something,
charge
which is a question
for
I
us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio.
Trying to do
Check it
himself.
out if you would
Letting
like
a
to be on.
12-year-old son replace
Fill out
the
the
toilet.
form again. Bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Check that out. Go to bigleagues.com. Well, there we have it, everybody, and a little bit about the community, a little bit of what we're trying to do to bring on other business experts on the show here. And with that, we started talking about reviews first half. We didn't get to it, but hey, check it out. I'm gonna put up on the wall here. Can you guys read that? 5.0, 128 reviews. This is impressive, and I'm gonna just grab one here. I had a plumbing emergency, and Eric came out right away to help. He was super friendly, explained everything clearly, and got my stack fixed the same day. I really do appreciate how thorough and helpful he was. I definitely recommend Eric and Ramblewood Plumbing to anyone who needs a plumber they can trust. How's that make you guys feel? Is that pretty cool?
Yeah.
Tell me
Makes
about
me feel
it.
real
Do you
good.
remember that one? Did you send
Yeah.
Eric on that one?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can get to things pretty quickly, and that day we just happened to have a cancellation, and she was kind of panicking, and we were like back and forth all day, and yeah, he was able to get out there, and they're all really good about just like walking in and realizing, they can like solve emergencies pretty quickly
Yeah.
for us, and so yeah, no, she it was great. It all worked out great. Mm-hmm.
Well, and it goes on and on. And like I say, 128 reviews. If you've been in business for 15 years, okay, this is in 2 years. That's
Less
pretty-
than, yeah.
Less than 2 years. That's pretty impressive.
We always screenshot too whenever we get a review. I screenshot and send it to the guys so they can see it, and they're all like, "Thanks."
Hey,
Hearty
yeah,
face.
Positive.
or
There we
whatever.
go.
Yeah,
even
yeah.
Positive.
They
all.
love to see it. They love to see it more than they admit, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's just, makes you feel good. You
Yeah.
going in there taking care of a customer and they're happy, so.
That's what we're looking for, and that's where I think small businesses, if you ever get an option to choose between the big guys and the small guys, I think are going to be able to better take care of you. Personal experience. I know I'm probably shooting myself in the foot for potential big sponsors, but I like to tell it the way I believe it is, regardless. So with that, let's do a little cost analysis here. This is one of my favorite segments, and tell me, as I scroll down here finishing my questions, what we talked about. I think actually I got that question later, but why should somebody choose to get a plumber versus, like, you can install your own garbage disposal, you can install your own faucet. Beyond that, even then, I can tell you some expert things that I've tried to do, and then you come back and have to fix them later. Why should somebody not do that? Would you recommend?
Well, let's use a toilet for example, right? We'll say that's pretty common. We get a lot of toilet calls. Toilets running. Well, anybody can go to Home Depot. You can buy a fill valve. You can buy a flapper and a supply line and rebuild your toilet. Well, a few things. You're going to get cheaper parts at Home Depot than what we're going to get. We're buying from our local supply houses. Quality is a little better, at least what we're putting in. I can tell you that. The time it takes, well, now you got to figure out what kind of toilet you have, what kind of parts. You got to track them down. So, customer's going to spend quite a bit of time tracking that down and picking them up. Not only that, if they get it together and something leaks, well, now what? Now you're calling a plumber anyways, right? So, the time and energy you put into that, and you can just call us, give us a call, and we usually have all that type of stuff on the truck. We're going to put good quality parts in there, and not only that, you get a 1-year parts and labor warranty on most of the repairs that we do. So.
And you don't have to watch all those YouTube videos.
And you don't have to watch all
how
the
to do
YouTube
it.
videos.
I mean,
That's what I was saying.
hours of YouTube
Yeah.
just to replace a toilet.
We talk about that. People who are the YouTube certified, right? And that's because they've watched 13 7-minute videos about how to install a toilet or fix a toilet or fix the, what do you call that inside
The fill valve,
fill
flappers.
valve? Okay, yes. Yeah, flapper.
Yep.
I know what the flapper. But yeah, we've done some of that work, and then you call it, it fixes, got to come back again. It's still running. The water ends up all over the floor, and now you've got a mold problem. These are all not good strategies. Get somebody. And it doesn't cost. This isn't like a $7,000 job. What's the average job for you guys? Give me a range for what you
For like a toilet rebuild, you're probably anywhere from $300 to $400 all in, with the service fee.
Yeah. So and it's going to be done right. You're not going to be pulling stuff out. Not going to be having to figure out where the water came from, and this is how you do things the right way.
Yeah, and you can type it into ChatGPT too. I'm sure it'll give you walkthroughs and everything like that, but we're probably one industry that does not have to worry about that being taken over by ChatGPT at
Me
this
as a
point.
professional, I love watching YouTube videos of the do-it-yourselfers on there showing people how to rebuild toilets, because I get a good laugh out of it because I know people are going to follow those videos. They're calling us anyway. So.
Yeah, I've heard people say it. Just tell them how to fix it themselves, and if they want to try, they will. And then they'll say, well, who was it that tried to tell you to fix this? Well, they tried. We couldn't do it. Then they're going to call you back to give you the business. And a good way to, you're offering to help, and that's good. Well, tell me with that, why should somebody choose you guys? You guys have been doing this for 21 years experience in business now for a couple of years, going into your second. Pretty soon you're going to be 3, and then half a decade goes quick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But why should somebody choose you? I'm going to start off. Who wants to start?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I always, if I'm talking to somebody on the phone, or if I'm promoting on social media, or if I'm standing in front of a room of 50 people I've never met before, I always say, go to our reviews. You can read 3 of them, and it sums up everything that we do and how we do it. But we're trustworthy. We answer the phone. We call you back. I mean, it's very simple how our company works. We treat everybody respectfully and do high quality work. So,
all right, everybody, that finishes up our first half hour. We're going to come back here for another half hour. We're going to get into some more stuff about certifications, insurance, benefits of working with small businesses we talked about, but what's the biggest mistake people make too? Stay tuned for more, everybody. This is the Your Local Castle Show. Giddy up.